Hello and welcome to episode 79. It's my first time fishing for a month and I've come down to Orchid Lakes in Oxfordshire. I've been looking forward to this one. This lake is called Home of the 30s and hopefully I could get one of them. I've been joined by a friend off Facebook, Dan. Hello. And we are with a third friend, but he doesn't want to be in the blog unless he catches. But we're actually at the end of day one, more or less. It's nearly getting dark. Got here just before midday, done a lap of the lake, and the place is absolutely rammed. Because there's three of us, we had to basically make do with what was left on the lake, which was 4 swims together, sort of in one corner of the lake that hardly anyone fishes. And we've got 3 of them. It's not the best swims on the lake apparently, but we're here, so we had to make do basically. So yeah, it's practically the end of the day now. Not a lot has happened. When we got here, it was absolutely lashing down with rain. I don't think, well, I certainly wasn't anyway, sort of in a good mood about setting up in the rain and getting all muddy. And I'm going to have to move the camera now because the bailiff's coming round. So, till something happens, let's go fishing. Oh, morning people. Oh, no joy in the night. Very cold last night. I don't know what the temperatures actually dropped down to, but the weather app on my phone said it was getting down to -4. Everything on the outside of the bivvy is certainly frozen. The water in my bucket next to me cradle has got a frozen lid on it. Yeah, very cold last night. No carpy action. I did have a few bleeps on me right hand rod. Whether that was fish action, a liner, bird life, I don't know. I ain't got a clue what time in the morning it was. Just heard a few bleeps. It sounded like the start of a run, almost jumped up, and then nothing, and that was it. But yeah, today's the start of another day. Yeah, I feel in a bit of a better mood today. I didn't get much filming done yesterday because, as I was saying in the intro, buddy, when we got here, place was rammed. We've basically had to make do with crappy swims in the corner of the lake. If the guy to my peg wasn't there in the peg to my right, I could fish open water, but his left hand rod is basically fishing sort of to his left on the sort of the corner sort of my right hand rod is, which is basically cutting me off from the rest of the lake. But that's what you got to put up with when you come to a packed lake. I mean, he was here first, he's already got a baited up area, so I can't exactly say to him, "Excuse me mate, can you move that rod so I can fish the open water?" It's just not done. You got to accommodate the people that's already here. But yeah, when we got here, I don't want to go on about it too much because it make the video sound depressing, but yeah, we got here and everything was muddy, it was wet, the swims were tight. I would have gone somewhere else if I was on my own. But anyway, I'm gonna have some breakfast in a little while, but before I do, I'll zoom the camera around and I'll show you where I am fishing. I don't have a lot of room. As I said, the swims are tight. There's the edge of my bivvy. There's the edge of the lake. Well, I've got 2 foot before I'm in the water from the doorstep of my bivvy. But yeah, my left hand rod is sort of over there, sort of aimed for that kind of area. I can't even do a proper cast because of them trees above, so I basically had to do, what I call the kiddie cast, a sort of little sideways underarm flick. But these two rods I can cast normally. There's nothing above my head to cast in that direction, so my middle rod is basically up against these reeds, and then my right hand rod I'm sort of almost fishing this sort of tip of the reeds here. Like I say, I can't go any further out because the guy in the peg over here, he's fishing sort of just the other side of them reeds there, so otherwise I'd have a nice bit of open water I'd be able to get out into. But hey ho, I'm hoping that guy in the peg to me right will be off the lake today so I can reach some of that open water. Like I said, I didn't do much filming yesterday, well, apart from the intro, no filming yesterday, but first thing I did yesterday was I threw out some boilies with a throwing stick. You can't really see it very well, there we go, the new CC Moore Equinox. So there's only half of that bag left because I put half a kilo out with a throwing stick, so sort of a third of that over each rod. I'll do some recasts later on, put some fresh bait on my rods and show me rigs etc. what I'm fishing later. I've got a different rig on every rod, so when I do recasts with fresh bait I'll show you that. With the left hand rod and the middle rod are fishing rigs I've never fished before or sort of tackled before. Well, the left hand rod is fishing a rig I've never fished before, and the middle rod is fishing a rig, sort of tackle I've never fished before. Right hand rod is just on a naked choddy. Well, anyway, it's still a bit cold, so I'm going to crock on and have some breakfast now. Try and get some heat back into my body. And then sort of think about the rest of today's fishing. Right then guys, I've got my rods out the water at the moment, so while they're out the water I'm about to do a recasting on my rods, so I can show me rigs that I'm fishing. Like I said, I think I said before, I've got different rigs on every rod, so I'll show you the first rod I'm fishing. Basically it's a naked chod rig, so if we start at the very top end first, got a little sinker with a bead on it. It just pops off nice and easy. Push it on slightly so that if you get snagged off, the hook link can ride over that sinker and push the bead off. So hook link, as I just said, it's a chod rig, not a lot else to say about that. Bait I'm using is one of my mates' baits he makes, Shropshire Specials, but it's basically the CC Moore Northern Special Base mix, but with a pink halo mixed in. As you can probably see, I've just got a bit of yellow foam on top just to add a bit of extra buoyancy. And then about 2 foot down I've got the bottom bead and sinker, exactly the same as the top bead and sinker, only reversed. and 6 inches below that I've got an ESP chod sleeve, which is soft rubber, which basically just acts as a buffer for if you get a fish on. And then I've got a 2-ounce distance lead, and I've kept the lead flexible from the buffer bead, so if it does dig in, that can still lay flat on the lake bed. Right, that's my first rod. Let's get it out in the lake. Actually, I've just wound this one on, so I need to get a fresh bait on, and then get it out in the lake, and then I'll show you my second rod when this is out in the water. Right then, just put that naked chod rig out to my second rod. Right, it's a tackle I've never used before, just something I've bought. I've seen little videos of it on YouTube and it seemed quite good. So when we get to the top end for it, got a flying back lead, and then the tackle is, I've got some quarter dark matter tubing, 2 foot of it. But the main part of this rig is the lead system. It's called an Angletech lead, and it's sort of inline lead. It's quite a good little system, but it can come running, and it works on the principle of the cog system. So as you can see, there's the hook link. When a fish picks the rig up, it's picking up the rig from the lead from the heavy end, so enable quicker, better hooking, etc. But the other good thing is that you cast out a bit of a anti-tangle sleeve on there, just to help anti-tangle purposes on the cast. But when you cast out, it all sort of kicks the hook link away in the cast, so it's going sort of through the air like that. If a fish does pick it up, let's just give it a bit of a shake. The lead becomes running. Oops, run miles away. But there you go, the lead becomes free running. So then you've gone from an inline sort of cog setup to a running rig effectively. And then the other good thing about this system, the lead is attached to the system by a little plastic clip, if you can see that. I can't see too well on the screen, but if you ever do become snagged up, that lead comes free, and that's all that is on the system. So really good lead system. I see the videos of it on YouTube and it looked brilliant. And so to put it all back together, you've got this little insert that just slots into the lead. You push it down tight, and that's it, ready to go. Well, then all I'm doing, I've got about 2 inches of the coated braid stripped off, just to allow free movement for the bait to go up into the fish's mouth. And before I cast it out, I've got a nice long PVA stick, just sort of about half an inch longer than the strip back, just to avoid tangles on the cast. And they do say on the Angletech website, if you're casting out heavy stringers or PVA bags, it's a good idea to wrap some PVA tape around the lead and around that bit, because then it just stops it pulling out completely on the cast. So yeah, so the Angletech lead system, sort of really good. It's cog, it's inline, it's running lead, all in one system. It's brilliant. I think I'll be using this sort of tackle a bit more often, to be fair. Right, let's get me a nice big PVA stick on and get this one out in the lake now. Right then, just put that second rod out onto my third rod. Right, this rig, I see Mark Bryant on the Corda YouTube page showing this rig, and I thought it seemed quite a good idea, so I thought I'd try it here for the first time. It's basically called the Not So Short rig. So it's an inline lead setup with a very short hook link. But the good thing about it, when you first set it up, you tie a long hook link, and then you get a baiting needle what you need is one of the soft shock leader inserts to go in the lead. So you take the original insert out, replace it with one of the soft shock leader inserts, otherwise the rig won't work. Then what you do, you get your long hook link, then you take a baiting needle, thread it down inside, grab some of the hook link, and then pull it back up through the soft insert of the inline. And then the idea is, what happens, you get if you get a fish on, you got a nice short hook link, so they get the weight instantly. But then when you're playing the fish, what happens? Bang! Oh, pulled the swivel out. But what happens then? It goes to a nice long hook link. Let's just push up. Swivel in. I don't think the swivel's not meant to come out. So that's what you're left with then. So you got a nice long hook link. So I think the idea of it is behind you got a nice long hook link so that the fish can't use the weight of the lead sort of swinging around under their mouth. So yeah, the not so short rig. So I was fishing a pop-up on that straight off the lead. I'm going to change that to a snowman rig when that goes back out. Again, that's one of Lee Stevens' Shropshire specials. Yeah, and all that, when I've pulled that hook link back up inside, that will go into a solid PVA bag. Right, I'm going to change that bait, put it in a solid bag, get that one out in the lake. It's a bit fiddly to do the baiting needle and pull all this hook link back up through, so right, let's crack on with that. Good fishing. Alright, just thought I'd quickly show you sort of how tight the swims are in Orchid. They're not very big. I mean, this is a small one, and the ones which are bigger aren't a lot bigger, so anyone who's planning on coming to Orchid who's watching this, do not bring big massive bivvies, because you will not get them in most of the swims here. There are the odd swim that you'll get a big bivvy in, but pretty much most of them are like this. And this is only the TF Gear Force 8 one man, and it is pretty crammed in tight there. It only just fits in. Like I said, there's got nowhere else to keep my rod bag apart from down the side of my bivvy. The swims are fairly tight. They're only designed for little bivvies, brolly type shelters. So yeah, they are a bit tight. One thing I'll mention while I've got the camera angled at this angle, that branch you can see sticking out there, Matthew, who didn't want to be in the vlog, you might be able to just see him down there packing up. But he brought some spod mix with him, and he just gave me what was left, and I've chucked it all out just before I'd done the rig filming under that branch. And then what I'm going to do with me left hand rod, which you just see me cast out over there, I'm going to have a go in the margins during the night. So once I'm settled down for the night in me bivvy, not moving about, disturbing me area, that left hand rod is going to go just under there where it's baited up with Matthew's particle and chopped boilie mix that he's made. Much nicer day today. Nice blue skies, just the odd little bit of cloud. Wish it was like this when we got here yesterday, or otherwise I might have been in a lot of a better mood when I first got here. So I hardly done any filming yesterday when we first got here. I was in a bit of a miserable mood because of the weather and trying to put bivvies up when they were wet into tight swims. I just wasn't a happy bunny. And you got all that laying, all of Orchid, 18.5 acres worth, and me, Matt and Dan, we're sort of crammed into this bay which apparently no one fishes, just because every other swim was taken. Just had to make do with what we could. Also, if there's lots of traffic noise behind me ruining any filming, I'll apologise, because literally one of the main roads to Oxford is right behind us. So yeah, so I apologise for traffic noise if any of that's ruining the filming for you guys, but again, had to make do with swims that we got given. Nothing we could do about it. Yeah, Matt and Dan are down there packing up. Like I said, they were only doing 24, so they're coming to the end of their session, which means I've got sort of roughly just over 24 hours of this session myself. Let's have a look at the water. It's nice clear water here. You can see that out of a PVA stick I was testing earlier on to see how long it would take to melt in this cold water. Took about 3 minutes to melt fully. Yeah, as you can see, I might get a better shot. See that sort of, all this little bay. I mean, to me this looks like a summer area. It's sort of a bit shallower in here than the rest of the main body of the lake. And to me, this basically looks like a sort of a summer area where the water would warm up quicker than the rest of the main body of the lake. And to me, yeah, this is a summer area where the fish would come to warm up when this water warms up quicker than the main body of the lake, I think. Right. As I showed you earlier on this morning, there's not a lot of space between edge of bivvy and water. One step too many in the night and I'll be wet. Right. I need to do a bit of housekeeping and tidy up my bivvy. Right, catch you later. Oh, my alarms do work. Thanks, Swan. You've let me know my alarms do work. Morning campers. I can say campers because don't feel like carpers at the moment. Obviously still blanking, otherwise you would have seen fish by now. I knew this was going to be a hard lake and probably a blank anyway, but you know, you're always kind of expecting even on hard waters that you might sort of sneak one, but it's not happening. I'm down to about my last 6 hours fishing now before I got to pack up. I've got up nice and early, I've found all 3 rods in, and I've put all 3 rods out on zigs now for the last 6 hours of fishing. It's certainly not been working on bottom baits or balance baits or pop-ups or whatever, so yeah, the last 6 hours are on zigs. I've done a 3 foot, a 4 foot and a 5 foot zig, all zig bugs from MBR Tackle, with a black body and a yellow head, and I've sort of cast all 3 of them fairly much in the same area, maybe about a rod length apart, so maybe sort of 50 yards out towards the open water area. So if there are any fish in that area, hopefully I can get them in sort of mid-water level. Like I say, trying 3 different depths to try for the best. Try and search them out if they are just cruising in mid-water. Hopefully a zig can snare me a fish in the last few hours. Right, I'm going to stop waffling on. So I'm going to have some breakfast now, and then it'd be a pack down of the non-essential items. Right, hopefully I can snare a fish in the last few hours. Alright guys, come to the end of my very first ever session on Orchid. As you can see, I'm all packed up. I'm just waiting for the bailiff to come round for the pickup back to the car park that they provide here. So if you want, you don't have to bring barrows, you just got to pay £3 and the bailiffs drop you off to your swim and pick you up again when you're finished. So I'm just waiting on that now, but unfortunately nothing come of it for my first time here. I tried everything I could. I used all my tips I was given before I come here about rigs to fish, etc. Tried different areas, different rigs, different baits, different tactics. Unfortunately nothing worked, but as you know, that's fishing. Right, thanks for watching this blank if you stuck it through to this far, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.